Hello. I'm over here. New live started. All right. Oh, goodness. I started a new live if everyone wants to come over. Hello. Thank you so much for coming over on this side. I don't know what happened. The little go live button was supposed to go live and it never did. And I was freaking out. Thank you, Sassy Gal, for helping me out. I'm definitely going to need a tutorial in going live and using StreamYard. So, yeah. Okay, so tonight we are talking about crime. I know, what fun. Oh my goodness. And technology and I are not really super friends anyway. Yeah. So, okay. I want to talk about the increase in crime and also the kind of how regular families are feeling quite a squeeze from high prices, lack of diesel fuel, lack of deliveries, lack of everything, and how some people are already turning to crime and how that's affecting regular folks. You guys were amazing putting some comments on my community page. I got some great comments from Facebook, and I also got some DMs on Instagram. So I just want to read a couple of these to you and give some shout outs to some of my subscribers. Amanda Reyes says, just had our e-bike stolen. That was $2,000. My husband in the military and we live across from the base. We're in Texas and we're devastated. That was his way to work and we're pretty mad at the whole world right now. And I don't blame them. Steph B says there's been a huge uptick in crime and various thefts, grills, bikes, gas, mail, car break-ins. At least one roving band of teenagers is responsible for many of those car break-ins. What has been an occasional occurrence is now multiple times per day, and violent crimes in our small town are up as well. This is heartbreaking for so many people that are trying to just make ends meet and deserve to keep their stuff. Cheryl T said, where I'm living in New York, I still feel safe being out and about, but I do keep my head on a swivel when I'm grocery shopping, just in case though. Not Away Prepping says, my cousin lives in a large Midwestern city and had his car broken into, and they smashed all the windows and siphoned all the gas while the car was parked in his driveway. That is just very sad. I got a lot of comments about catalytic converter thefts, which is heartbreaking because without a catalytic converter, in most states, your car will not run. Lower Michigan, 3 car thefts over the weekend, and that is not normal. This is a safe, small town with a regular police station and a state police post. So in Lehea Neves, sorry if I butchered that, in her area, they literally are having car thefts where there wasn't any. More Than Consequences says there, be careful at gas stations as well. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, and that's absolutely correct. There is a gas station. Mr. B and I actually drove by it this morning, and I said, I will not get gas there again because last time I did, there was a man in the parking lot who was obviously under the influence of some sort of drugs. And he was casing cars and looking for people who are weak. And the man at the pump across from me actually said, I'm going to stay here until you finish pumping your gas because I don't want anything to happen to you. And I said, well, I appreciate that, sir. I am packing. So let him try. But he did stay until I was able to get my gas and get safely away from that place, which it was not great. I have not been back to that gas station since. Cedar Hollow Homestead, huge fan of the channel. We moved into our current home at the start of lockdowns in 2020, but didn't finish moving in all of our stuff until earlier this month. And then the old home was broken into twice. They trashed the place, ripping open the bags, dumping out our boxes, and destroying the shelving units in one of the rooms. Luckily, they had cameras up and the thieves were caught. They're already out on bond. So basically, just a slap on the wrist there. Live in a small southeast Missouri town. My friend who lives in the town was robbed in her own home at gunpoint. Whoops, I said the G word. Catalytic converters being stolen and drugs are rampant. Everyone needs protection. Hey, Van City. Oh my goodness, look at all these comments. Hi, I have bifocals. I am old. Pamela, and Karen, apartment prepper. Hey, girl. Uncle Al, thank you for stopping by. Hi, Casey and Fox Run. Glad you're here. Lori Durbin, huge fan, and I'm going to be posting a link on my community page. Lori was actually interviewed by the local news about preserving food, so I'll post that on my community page probably tomorrow. Lori says she's had people follow her in stores and parking lots because she uses a cane, but it's pretty heavy. So she's not afraid, but she's got some situational awareness going. Nene of Nene's Prep and Kitchen, a huge fan of that channel. My niece up in the mountains where she lives just had all 4 of her tires slashed. That's horrendous. Veronica says, I live in a golf course in a good neighborhood, and last week someone shot and killed the owner and an employee of the 7-Eleven that services our community within walking distance of the home. And she's now installed cameras and some solar motion lights. So there is a lot of comments on that community post. And if you have any other comments, I would love to hear about them so that we can spread some awareness about crime in your area. In my local area in the forest, I will say that vandalism is way, way up. So many roving bands of teenagers are stealing lawnmowers and grills and just vandalizing everything, which is bizarre for out here. We have a lot of drugs out here, a lot. So that's it's been a difficult balance for the community to get that. I'm just going back to the community page to have the uptick in vandalism. Have you heard about wolf preppers? Yeah, Dee Dee, I have. Granny Karma did a video. Where'd it go? Granny Karma did a video on them. They appear to be a group watching preppers planning on showing up and stealing from them and robbing their gardens when SHTF. Mulan Labe. Is that how you say that? Come and take it. I think you will have an unhappy surprise. I've already had to defend our tiny homestead from some people that were under the influence of substances that were probably not legal. And they found out real quick that lady with the white hair that lives in that house right there, don't go near her. She will unalive you quickly. Karen says, yes, my friends and have their 9 kids who have 9 kids in their own neighborhood the same day, 2 catalytic converters stolen. I'm hearing that so much. Over on my Instagram page, I got a couple of DMs from people who were over the road truckers, like 18-wheelers, having parts stolen, including mirrors and other parts off of their 18-wheelers while they were parked. And without those mirrors, they cannot go even 1 foot. They cannot operate at all without the mirrors. So obviously they have a really hard time with getting parts. So they're just stealing them off of operating vehicles. You just look through the chat. Yeah, those the wolf prepper thing, that's not a good idea. Yeah, Lori says a lot of drugs in her neighborhood as well. Absolutely. That's why I don't show Garden 2 and 3. Uncle Al, you are right. Even though I do show a lot of my preps and kind of what we're doing, you guys don't get to see it all. Yeah, and amen to the people in states that are packing. Yeah. I've already had, like I said, I've already had to defend our homestead from people who had nefarious thoughts, I guess, about what they were going to do with me. And Charlotte Prepper just called me. She must not know that I am live. Huge uptick in crime pretty much everywhere. Any comment that I got from all over the United States. So it doesn't seem to be a specific area. It seems not to discriminate against against any particular vicinity in the United States. My one of the clients at my work who lives in a very upscale gated golf community, everybody parks their boats in a big field in the back, and she called and said, I'm sorry, but I will not be attending my appointment this morning. The gate and the fence in the back where everyone had their boats and RVs, they cut the fence down and stole her husband's brand new boat. He hadn't even had a chance to take it out yet. And of course they were devastated, but they were more upset and afraid because he had his truck unlocked with his wallet, a Second Amendment implement, and the keys were in the truck. That's how safe they felt in their community. And her world was completely rocked because, number one, someone broke into and stole the boat. It appeared that they just pushed the fence over, hooked a truck up to the trailer that the boat was on, and took off with it. So they, of course, called the police and blah, blah, blah. But this is an area that was, I guess I thought that rich people were immune to what's happening in the world. And I don't think that that's the case. Apartment Prepper says, no community is crime proof. Never leave things in your vehicle. Yeah, so they took his wallet. They took the Second Amendment implement. They did not take the truck, even though it had the keys in it. So they had the sense not to take the truck. It was a really, really nice truck. And I'm wondering if they thought that there was some GPS in that truck. Yeah, Yarn Prepper says, I lock the doors even when I am home. Yeah. And thankfully, like Dixie is at my feet snoring. She is my 80-pound bull mastiff Florida Cur Cross. So they're going to have to come through her to get to me. And I understand that, that's she's not my only layer of defense, but at least she'll give me an opportunity to either run or to defend myself. So I noticed that there's 64 people in here and only 25 likes. If you guys could hit the like button, you don't know how much that helps the channel. It's free for you, and literally it helps so much. Uncle Al says, we still have rustlers and horse thieves. Absolutely. So I live in the Ocala area, and Ocala is famous for the $1 million race horses. So I wonder how long it will be until those people start seeing the impacts of thefts. I don't know if they would actually steal the horse, but I know that animal feed and just farm equipment in general is going up in price so much that I have a feeling that those type of thefts are going to be coming. And then the police, thank you, Van City, for hitting that like button. The police are stretched so thin, and their gas budgets are so thin that in a lot of areas, they're not showing up to they're not showing up to crimes that are happening because they're either short-staffed, they don't have the gas, or it's not that they don't care. I don't think. It's just that they're so overwhelmed. I'm hearing that in my area, domestic violence is up almost 50%, and also calls for substance abuse calls and things like that are up as well. And that's very scary, very scary. Number one, as a human, to turn to drugs and alcohol. Many people don't have a religion. They don't have Jesus or the Lord. They don't have any kind of backing. So then it's turning to drugs and illegal, or alcohol or whatever. Um, and then people tend to get, bad decisions, making bad decisions when those substances enter into an already volatile situation. It's very, very, very sad. It's sad for children. It's sad for the pets. It's sad for the couple. Very sad. And I have a feeling that this is just going to continue as we get closer and closer to what I feel, in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an economist, but I feel that we are headed toward another Great Depression, and that this increase in crime is going to just go crazy. Ty Bullfrog says, our Uncle Al says, I have a backhoe and back 40 acres. And he said something about the 1895 law is still in effect in his area. Mr. B was talking about that again this morning. And thankfully, Florida is a right to defend state. So especially as a woman, if I feel that my life is being threatened, I have the right to defend myself, which is comforting to know that I do have the right to defend myself. And I don't live in a state where, I don't live in a state where I can't do that, especially on my own property. Nope. Let's see, a lot of homeless in the area. I have noticed a huge amount of increase in homeless people. And being in the Ocala National Forest, the rainbow people come here every year. And normally the rainbow people do not bother anyone. They go out, they camp in the woods for 3 or 4 months, and then they go back to where they came. They're like a band of kind of gypsy hippie type people. A lot of drugs usually. And, they can steal. They steal sometimes. Normally, one year I got my entire load of laundry stolen off of my clothesline by the rainbow people. It's my own fault for leaving it out. But they do steal usually. And there's some like prostitution and things like that go along with those people. But normally they don't add to the crime, but I am noticing so many homeless people. And Ocala is very good at hiding their homeless problem. I know that in the bigger cities, it is out of control. We went in town today and noticed that behind the Chinese restaurant, there was a large encampment of tents and homeless people, which is very sad. Yeah, very, very sad. Drug houses in town. I'm glad that I don't live in town. Lori, you're absolutely correct. And we, for a while out in the forest, oh no, not all homeless people commit crimes. Absolutely not. No. I was not saying that. So in the forest, we used to have a Facebook group where we would call out the drug houses and tag our local sheriff, but they shut that down a couple of different times. We tried to get it up and running, and then no. We have a joke in the forest that the police will trip over 3 dead hookers and a meth lab to get to a bag of weed. So that's just how we do things in my county. But it's quite a thing. A greater depression. I absolutely believe that. And the Great Depression, I believe, so I think that they haven't announced yet that there is a recession, but I do know that they did announce that we have had slowed or zero backward economic growth for 2 full quarters in a row. And that does mean that we are in an actual recession, which they haven't announced it yet. And if you're not preparing, please do so now, because the recession, I think, is just a technical term for this greater depression that we are approaching. And I know that crime is going to increase. Mr. B and I have a plan that eventually one of us will always have to be home, that there will not be a time when there can't be someone here, because people will come and try to either take our crops or take our stuff. And we don't have a lot of stuff facing the road, or our lawn is mowed and you can tell people live here, but we don't keep a lot of stuff out in the front for people to look at. Put your key car fob, more than consequences. Put your key fobs in an RFID protective pouch. Thieves can steal your car by hijacking your key signal. My goodness. If these people put half the effort into getting a job and being a normal citizen as they did crime, they would probably be very successful. That's crazy. Lori says that her electric bill went up for the third time this year. It's over $200, and it's just her. Our electric bill has also gone up 2 times in the last year. I know that that's a pinch for everyone. It's a pinch for everyone. We are still fine, but I know that up north the light bills are going to be insane this winter. Insane. And I have a feeling that people are they're really going to feel the pinch this winter. Karen, I don't blame you for wanting to leave LA. If anyone wants a farmhand, oh my goodness. So Karen's looking for a new place to live. She has great references and a degree in childhood development. There you go. Yeah, it is getting crazy, and we are just seeing the very, very beginning of that. The messages from Instagram were mostly long haul trucker type messages where people were getting parts stolen or the loads were getting stolen. And it wasn't directly from the people messaging me. It was more, I know of someone who had their entire load stolen. I was watching a video this morning, and I don't remember if it was I think it was Southern Prepper One, or it might have been Popular Preparedness, talking about grocery theft in grocery stores, organized gangs going and just flooding the grocery store and all leaving at the same time. They were actually taking orders from people in the community and then boosting the groceries, coming back out and selling it to you for half of the sticker price, which is, people got to eat. I don't know how we're going to feed all of the people when the grain to feed the animals is so expensive, and the hay and the chips and all of the things to keep the animals healthy are going through the roof. They've been banning veterinary medicines that you can get at the hardware store like crazy. So we're not able to keep our animals as healthy as we were. And then there's the government subsidies are drying up, the fertilizer shortage. People are going to be hungry. And when people are hungry, they will do anything not to listen to their baby cry for food. I have been poor to the point where my boys and I had oatmeal for breakfast. We had soup for lunch, and we had a 25-cent loaf of markdown French bread from Walmart with pepperoni on it that I put in the oven for the entire weekend. I have been that poor, where there was no food stamps and there was no food to feed my children. And that is a scary spot to be in when I was a single mother. No, ma'am. I would have done anything. To make sure that my babies were fed, period. And thankfully, the church was there for me and provided me with a nice big box of food once a month to help me stretch out my budget. But those resources are going to be gone soon. And that's when the crime is going to uptick. The pawn shops are already seeing a brisk increase in the amount of business they're getting because people are coming in and selling whatever they can sell. And then when that runs out, they're going to start stealing. And that is my main focus tonight, is the crime, the uptick in crime and lack of police response, to be honest. Okay, there's 93 people watching and 60 likes. So if you could hit the like button, it super helps me out. Just because the YouTube algorithm loves it. It's free for you and it helps me. So if you could hit that like button, I sure would appreciate it. Anne Marie Rodriguez. Hi, Anne Marie. It's hard, but all we can do is plan. see what we have, keep prepping, and make it better for our family in the future. Absolutely. That is the message of hope right there. You can plan today for that rainy day that's coming, and it's going to rain. That is really hard. Just have to watch about having matches. Illinois is scary. If you go near Chicago, it's the collar counties. The farther you go into the farmland, the better it gets. People work together. Absolutely. Tita says, now New York City has way more people than then, and it won't happen with a new nickname. Absolutely. People will not be able to pay their rent. And that's another thing. We don't have rent control here in Florida. And a friend of mine was paying $2,300 for a house in Tampa, Florida. A house with a pool, 3 bedrooms, nice house on its own lot in Tampa, $2,300. His landlord sold the house. He had rented there 3 years, always paid the rent on time. His landlord sold the house. He found a 1-bedroom condo, very small, $4,600 a month for a condo in Tampa. It's in a not so great area. His house was in a nice area. The condo's in not such a great area. He was lucky to find it. And then he lost his job at the luxury car dealer that he was working at because they have no luxury cars to sell. So now he's working at a marketing company and struggling with a $4,600 a month rent, which is astronomical. And this guy is used to having a lot of disposable income because he's a single man. So my heart goes out to him. He's a nice guy. And we have cracked 100 people. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you could press the like button, I really would appreciate it. YouTube likes that so much. Apartment Prepper said, I've been expecting the mass group thefts in grocery stores and in stores like Walgreens. They're also doing that. Seems like they're kind of targeting the little smaller stores, going in 20 or 30 at a time. There's maybe 3 or 4 employees in the entire store if they're lucky. And usually in the pharmacy, there is a pharmacy technician, maybe 2, and a pharmacist. And then up front, they may have a cashier and someone else in the store, a manager or something. But that's it for the whole store. And they're not going to stop 30 or 40 people rushing in to steal. They're going to grab everything that they can and run back out the door. And good luck with getting the police there. Good luck with getting any sort of charges pressed, because a lot of the laws have changed in some of the states where if the crime is under $500, the police don't even show up, which is horrifying. Let me just go through the chat here really quick. Hi, Tracy. How are you? How's Maine tonight? During the Great Depression, Central Park became Hooverville, which was a camp for the homeless. The amount of police, yeah. Karen wants to leave LA. I don't blame you, Karen. I heard some not so nice things about that, including rat infestations and a whole bunch of other things. Is it Amaris? Oh my gosh, I have bifocals. I am old. It's insane, but we see it all the time. She worked for rental companies, and rent hikes have gone crazy. Rather than have a good tenant, the people are moving on a yearly basis. And I just watched Appalachia Homestead with Patera, and they're not throwing animals away. They are putting animals in shelters like mad. And I just feel so terrible about that. Yeah, MK Kraft says, I've known 2 families that had a $600 rent increases in Salt Lake City. Yeah, very sad. Very, very sad. Question from Guadalupe. Do you own a Second Amendment implement? No clue how to use one. Do you recommend pepper spray or bear spray? I recommend training with whatever you decide is what you're going to use as your primary. I think Mr. Big is over there. whatever you're going to use as your primary implement, and it doesn't, there he is. It doesn't matter what that is. I recommend training above all. My dear friend who lives in South Carolina had her sports car parked next to her Toyota truck. The Toyota truck had a V8, beautiful truck, beautiful little sports car. Her truck was stolen. Her truck was stolen. She called the police. She's a doctor. Calls the police. The police come out. They're like, well, there's really not a whole lot we can do. Your truck has probably already been chopped up for parts. So they didn't steal the sports car. They stole the truck. Because the luxury sports car market is kind of dried up, but people need trucks and they're paying premium dollar for them. And parts are really hard to find right now. So she got a check from the insurance company, which doesn't cover the new cost of a new truck. She ordered an SUV. Her date to get the SUV is 5 months from now. So living in South Carolina, there's going to be snow soon. Like, we have to think about that. In 5 months, she's going to be driving a sports car in the snow. Very inconvenient for her. But as a lifelong liberal, she asked me about her Second Amendment rights and what she could do about it. And I thought that was fantastic. Finally, that jolted her into a more preparedness mindset. And I applaud her. I really, truly do. So I recommended that she get some training and take a class. They have classes for females. That's the one that I took. Fantastic. And they have a ladies club that gets together and practices all kinds of different training techniques. I was able to use those training techniques when I defended our homestead against the people that were under the influence of some nasty things. I was able to remember all my training, and I highly, highly recommend, no matter what it is, if you're going to use bear spray, the 2A implements, if you're going to use anything, I recommend just taking some classes. Even if you just take a women's self-defense class, please do that, please, because you're going to need it. There are going to be so many thefts and attacks, and as a woman, when I'm out, I make sure I'm wearing flat shoes, that I am aware of what's happening. I've ditched my designer purse, and I now wear a crossbody woven bag with a zipper on the side so that it's on my person with my keys around my neck on a lanyard so that I'm not having to dig for my keys. I know exactly where they are. I've changed a lot of things because I know that I don't want someone else to be a target. I really do not want that. I don't. But I don't want to be a primary target. I want to look hard. Because if I'm walking into the grocery store and I have a cute dress on with some little heels, some little strappy mule heels, and I'm on my cell phone and I've got my designer bag, a woman walking, so big diamond ring, designer purse, $1,000 cell phone, you're making $2,500 off me in 2 seconds. You push me to the ground, I'm crying, and then just you take my purse, which probably has my credit cards in it, has my ID, has my checkbook or whatever else. If I have a 2A implement in that bag, that's worth a couple $100. My cell phone's worth $1,000. My diamond earrings or my big diamond ring or diamond necklace or whatever, who knows? You could make $2-3 grand just walking through a parking lot if you were a criminal by pushing some lady down and taking her bag and her ring. That's in Florida. I don't recommend that, especially not where I live. We have a lot of rednecks here. Our local Dollar General was robbed recently, and I know I haven't carried a checkbook since like 2000. So our local Dollar General was robbed, not in the forest, but just outside of the forest. And I have to say that the response by the local community was quite something, because a bunch of good old boys went down there in their trucks and just kind of sat in the parking lot because one of the guy's wives was inside of the Dollar General when that happened. And so they, They just sat and waited. And suddenly, there were no more thefts at that Dollar General store. And that man's wife felt safe working there. And the customers felt safe going in because, everybody knows Jim Bob and, all of his friends. So that's kind of how they dealt with that. The police kind of frowned on that, but they weren't doing anything but sitting there. So, go in once an hour and buy a soda, one of them, and you got yourself a legal reason to be there. And there were no more thefts. Just gonna get a little drink and look through the comments. Tony said that she doesn't have any of her expensive stones anymore. Yeah, I wear a lot of cutesy stuff. I wear I have some turquoise and stuff like that, but I don't have a big diamond ring. I think they're a waste of money. Myself personally, if you want to do that, that's totally fine. That is you. I don't see any value in them. I know, I love Patera. I think she's like talking to your aunt that just tells it straight. She just is. And Tasha, Mama Bear Prepping, same. I don't want you out in those streets. I'm like, yes, Mama Bear, Tasha, I will not be out in these streets. Yeah, crossbody and lots of pockets for everyday carry. Perfect. Jess says, just got back from Sam's Club and canned chicken went from $10.99 to $18.96 since February. Disgusting. Everything went up by at least $1.50. I know I was at Aldi's checking on the Great Depression grocery list that I have. And if you haven't checked out those videos, there's a whole playlist on my channel of Great Depression grocery list. And I've been keeping track of the prices of about 30 staple items that people would have bought during the Great Depression. And flour was like, boop. About every 8 weeks, I go into Walmart, and then on the 4th, I go into Aldi. So I'm alternating every 8 weeks. I go to Aldi, and then I go to Walmart, and then I go to Aldi, so that I can keep track of prices in my area on those Great Depression staples, and encourage people just to stock up on them and to check the sizes. The size of the oatmeal at Aldi down by 6 ounces, price remained the same. So that's shrinkflation. It's more per ounce, but it was not as much it was the same per container. Yeah, same thing happening in Canada. I have a lot of friends in Canada, and they're all reporting that it's very sad. Do not do this in Asian stores connected to mob or the triad. Absolutely. Like, you don't want to do that in a redneck country either, because those boys found out quick. Thank you guys so much for all of your great comments. I really appreciate you being here. There's 116 people in the watching and 91 likes. So if you could press the like button, I super would appreciate that, because it is it helps me out so much, and it's free for you. See the Peaky Blinders series on Netflix. Absolutely. Seen the first season. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to have a rude awakening, and I have a feeling that there's going to be some big changes coming for a lot of people. Myself included. We were talking today about how we need to change some things in our own lives, just based on the fact that we think that Mr. B won't have a job. It could happen at any minute. It really could. He works in the metal industry. He's a welder, and they're having a hard time getting full loads and full orders. It's so strange, because one week they'll put an $80,000 gate on $1 million horse stall, and then the next week they're scrounging for small jobs. It's so strange right now. David Hammond says, drive-by shootings are up in Westminster, Colorado area. My heart goes out to that, because it is so sad. Nene says, chicken prices are crazy. Still searching for Sweet Sue whole canned chicken. Oh, they use that a lot in like the cooking competition shows as a trick ingredient. I don't discriminate. I'll eat it. No chicken breast. I saw 2 packages of chicken breast at Aldi today, because I stopped in to get some Cool Whip, and I should have bought them. I didn't. folks walking out of stores with carts full of food. Absolutely. What are you going to do? It's under $500 and they're not going to call the cops. And if you call the cops aren't coming. And bad people do bad things when they realize that there are no consequences. And people who don't even normally do bad things when they realize there's no consequences. When no one's looking, they don't have, Jesus or any religion or God or moral compass. And that's just, as soon as they think no one's looking, it's bad news bears. Dora says, I go to the store looking like a poor church mouse. I keep my purse small and in the front of my body. I live in a small town. I don't trust anyone. Amen. Yeah, I ditched my designer bag. Maybe when times get better, I'll start carrying it again. But right now, I just do the crossbody fabric bag. It looks like somebody got it at, a yard sale or a flea market. Those stores will start shutting down. People in the community will be affected. Absolutely. More Than Conquerors. You're totally right. Martin Misadventures lost their Family Dollar. And I know that was a huge blow to that whole area. Christopher says, I eat anything. Jody Bellamy, you rock. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I have to say, that's my first one. I love you. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Jody, do you have any questions you'd like me to answer directly? I did get a question the other day on my channel. Why do you always wear the same shirt? Well, first of all, this shirt is awesome. Second, I'm a woman. And if I wear my clothes and you see me on the street and you're like, oh my gosh, I recognize that dress. And look at that lady. She has white hair. And look, there she is. Well, that's an identifier. And that's really not good. It's not good to put myself on the internet in my regular everyday street clothes and then walk around and have people recognize me and be like, oh my gosh, she lives in the forest somewhere. Let's follow her home. And then I got to do like I did to the people on meth. I don't want to do that. So I just think that wearing this t-shirt is a good idea when I'm online. And usually you'll see me on my other channel, The Biggs Homestead Kitchen. I usually wear an apron and, just a plain black t-shirt. Nancy says, I was in line at Meijer. I got to use these bifocals. I was in line at Meijer's getting groceries. An old lady, maybe in her 80s, went to the next stall with no checkers, put all the groceries in bags and walked out the door. Oh my gosh. Van City gave me a super chat. Girl, I love you. Van City and I go way back to the beginning when she first started her channel. She had like 35 little subscribers. And I was like, this girl is awesome. Tony, thank you so much. Van City, you are the best. We have been blowing each other up. We have such a strong community of lady preppers on here, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. All the dollar stores are going to have to go up to $5 stores soon. It costs too much to transport the goods. Tony, thank you for the super chat. MK Crafts, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's going to be dollar store and more, I think. Yeah, because I don't know what's going to cost $1, maybe a bar of soap. The t-shirt is advertising. Girl, you right. And thank you, Sassy, for helping me get online tonight. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to need a tutorial on how to do that. Let's see. I know I love my dollar store too, and I was so bummed when they went up to $1.25, but does anyone have any direct questions for me? I'll probably be on here for about another 15 minutes, maybe 20. If anyone has any direct. Dollar Tree Plus, Linda's Prepper Kitchen already has one in her area. I haven't seen that yet. Oh, Yarn Prepper's headed over to Pinball Preparedness. I'll probably go there next once we wrap up. I'm so thankful to be able to park my cart inside the garage. I've also been hearing that people have been driving by and killing livestock. That is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. People put so much time and energy and love into their animals, and then to have them killed senselessly and you don't even get to use the meat, that just hurts. How to store portions of dry goods. I vacuum seal mine with a little oxygen absorber, or I put it in a jar and seal the jar up. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to be canning chicken. I got 2 huge packs of chicken quarters for $8.58. They were buy one, get one free. And I put those in the crock pot yesterday. So I'll be canning that. And then I'll be canning spaghetti sauce on Monday. And normally I cook a turkey every year on July 4th. Like, I cook a big turkey out of my freezer. This year I'm not doing that. I'm saving my turkey for Thanksgiving because I have a feeling that turkeys are going to be very, very hard to get at Thanksgiving time. Dollar General bought into Dollar Tree, so I see Dollar Tree going up. Dollar General is my favorite place to shop. I love Dollar General. Yeah, everybody is headed over to Pinball. I'll be over there next. If anybody wants to stay, I'll just kind of wrap this up in maybe the next 5 minutes. Be canning tomorrow, Tony. Beets and corn. That sounds awesome. That's, yeah. Die bullfrog. Uncle Al says that's why we do the pow pow back. Did you hear? Okay. Did I hear anything about NATO gearing up? Prices would skyrocket and it would be worse. I will say that personally, my son got orders to ship out, and I'm not going to say where, but it's over somewhere else that's not in the United States. And it's not a very good area for anyone to be in right now. And he leaves mid-July. I texted back and forth with him a little bit this morning. And I got all of the emergency phone numbers and all the things so that it is what it is. It's what he signed up for. And I know that being a soldier and being a Blue Star mom is not easy. Thank you for the prayers, Madeline. I'm sure I'll be putting him a lot on my community page, and I'm going to go back to wearing my compass all the time. Both of my sons have compass tattoos. They have matching brother tattoos. And so usually when he's gone, I wear a compass necklace, and I have a compass bracelet. And I always ask that if you see my bracelet in my videos that you say my son's name. It's Nathan. Just say his name. That's all I ask for. Yeah. Yeah, please don't forget to leave your like. Thank you, Guadalupe. Yeah, praying for all of us. It is what it is. It's going to be what it is. And I raised him to be a lion, and that's what he is. He is an amazing, amazing person. And I love him so much. What is near to what's happening now? World War II rationing or Great Depression? I think there's already shadow rationing by limiting purchases at the grocery store. You can only get 2 meats. That's rationing. Sorry. That's just what it is. Calling it something different. Karen says it's so funny. I always wear the same clothes. I know. I always wear my t-shirt whenever I do anything because it's what is compass bracelet? It's a bracelet. It just has a compass charm on it. So as soon as he ships out, I'll start wearing that every day so that and whenever anyone sees it in any of my videos, if you could just say my son's name out loud, or even just in your heart, that would be amazing. Yeah, he'll be going soon. And in better news, my new puppy comes home on Thursday. His name is Tater, and he is a little Yorkie puppy. And my Cookie Lou passed away, my little dog. So I needed something for my mental health because I knew that my son Nathan was going to be shipping out, and my best friend passed away of brain cancer in like the same week. It was a really bad week. So Tater will be joining us for our live next Saturday. I'm very excited to get him home. I know it's been a rough month. It's been a rough month. So everybody, if we are set, thank you so much for the super chats. I really, really super appreciate that. And also, what are the names of my sons? Matthew and Nathan. Matthew is my older son. He lives in the house next door to me. And then Nathan is a sergeant in the Army. He is at Fort Hood right now. And he just got his orders to ship out to somewhere that shall not be named. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate all of you, and I love my YouTube community. I see so many of my awesome subscribers and so many YouTubers that I am super, super fans of. So if everybody wants to pile on over to Pinball, I'll go over there next. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Bye. 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 I don't know how to shut this off. I don't know what to do. Okay. Let's just X out and see what. Bye, everybody. See you at Pinball. How do I make this stop? Oh, end stream. There's a big button that says it.